Harper over in this series? Has he gotten a hit yet?
$300 million man. Look, admittedly, I am much more locked in on hockey right now than I was before, and now I am. But as I've been doing things and looking at using Hall of Fame bets and figuring out different plays and looking at spreads and looking at totals and then looking at MVP things, I was looking at you sent me unexpected points. This is gonna be a long cold open, but whatever. It's fine. You sent me unexpected points, and then I sent you that other one. That other one had this listing of Jared. Basically, it had all the best quarterbacks this weekend were Mac Jones, Spencer Rattler, and who else was it? I don't remember, but those two were both. What's that?
Was Drake May on the list?
Drake May,
because Drake May, I think, had the highest PFF grade.
Yeah, the highest PFF score. So my point on all of it was, and then I saw, like Goff was like lower than the other ones. So I was like, all right, whatever. And I talked about it with Shawn a little bit earlier, but we'll talk about it again. And then, I know we've all been circling around this Goff thing, and Goff then became a bet of like, wow, this is the right MVP bet to make right now. But I looked at his yardage. He's not going to these are all the stat padding games right now. Like these are the games where he should be getting like the 360, like all of those things right now. And because it's not going to be a back-ended thing, and he's not going to have the yardage. He's going to have 41 touchdowns and like 3 interceptions. And that is awesome. And and that is great. But then I'm looking at the guys that I think that the big thing that I'm going to see is that he'll probably have his lowest yardage output because of the way that team goes, but the team's ceiling is higher. It's just because they're not doing as many downfield shots as they were before, is basically what it comes down to. They're playing in an unbelievably efficient realm of football. So anyway, we can talk about it.
He's did stats update yet for what'd you say?
I don't know. But that is the cold open for Hall of Fame bets for Dad's Bet baseball and football. A Monday Night Football edition. Our bets. All right. So hi everybody. You got Adam Rosenberg with me as always is my co-host CJ Buskey, aka Slippin' Jimmy. CJ, we just did a 2-minute droning of whatever it was. Mondays are tough for everybody, especially those with kids. Which all 3 of us have, 3 being Shawn in there. And
or those with Phillies and Yankees futures. This is a particularly tough
one. You know what? Jays get there. I'm not going to. If the Jays win the pennant, I don't care about anything. I really do not care about anything.
I mean, Jays win the pennant. We're doing a victory lap, and also it paid basically for all our postseason futures. So great.
We're going to do the best victory lap because I don't want to hear somebody say that is the only time where I will shove a ticket price in front of someone's face, because the only take we had on that was, why is this team priced the same as the Angels and the Athletics? And everyone else said, I love the Yankees and the Orioles. That being said, let's dive into Hall of Fame bets. Our sponsor. You're watching right now. We're talking football. We're not talking baseball today. Right there is a QR code. Use code DADS. You get 25% off the first month. They are about to add hockey because hockey starts tomorrow. I am feverishly putting stuff in, including Tampa Bay Lightning future. I like all the Tampa teams. So that said,
you sent me your first play. Was it the Florida over 5.5?
I did. I have 2 plays. I have Avs money line, which moved against me, but I don't care. And on Thursday, I like the Panthers and Flyers over 5.5.
What's the all right. We'll get into
you can't hang a 5.5. Like I know we have yet to talk about football edition, so you can't hang a 5.5 in today's NHL. That's really what it comes down to. You just can't. You can't do that anymore. You really can't do that. But we'll talk about that on a future episode when all of our new hockey stuff on Handygraphs is done. Yep. CJ, take it away. Let's look for a side and total for week 5. Tell me. All right.
Well,
and this can go really well into our first segment, which will be about what you do on Mondays when you upgrade and downgrade teams.
Yes, me as a football nerd, I love the topic that we're going to dive into today before we bring on Shawn to just completely obliterate one of these teams. And the game right now I'm kind of looking at, man, for the maybe like one of my early sort of opener bets this week. I'm looking at this Ravens-Rams game, and two things with this game. Why are the Rams only minus 7.5 when, okay, it's a 1 p.m. game, they're on the road, and I understand that the Rams just lost to the Niners. That was a divisional game at home against a coach that traditionally Sean McVay has struggled against his entire career.
They play that team twice a year.
The Rams are getting extra rest coming into this game against a Ravens team that just got absolutely shit stomped this past week by a Houston Texans team who we all agree is not very good.
Not good.
I kind of like the Rams 7.5. What I think I actually like a little bit more, I think this total at 44.5 is actually a little low. I think this should be I'm not a little low, sorry. It's a little bit high. I think this is an under all the way. And I see why this is probably going 44.5 because of the fact that the Ravens did score some points against the Texans this past week. The offense, like if you look at some of the EPA stuff, it was okay. I don't know if I'm just seeing this, like the defense completely laid down. Who's to say that the offense is not going to maybe do the same this week? And the Rams have a top 10 defense. Like this is still a good defense coming in, not as good as Houston. But to me, like 44.5 just seems a little bit high, given that I think this Ravens team stinks. And I think that the Rams defense is like pretty good. And also I don't see the Rams trying to run up the score on the Ravens. Like Houston had a reason to run up the score on the Ravens. They lost to the Ravens 33 or 34-2 on Christmas Day last year. They got absolutely pantsed. So they came into that game with a little bit of extra motivation. For me, I think the 31-2. Thank you, Shawn. 31-2 in that game. I think the Rams really have the extra motivation coming into this, other than get right spot. They have extra rest. Give the ball a ton to Kyron in this one and get out. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So under 44.5 was the one that I was sort of eyeing, but I don't hate minus 7.5 also.
This is I like this. I like them. I don't mind the minus 7.5, but I want to hear Shawn's take. Another reason I like the under. I just looked at this Rams schedule. Rams opened at home, back-to-back then road spot, flew back-to-back road spots, Titans and Eagles. In between, flew back. We know that.
Yep.
After the Eagles game, flew back home, beat the Colts. Thursday night, lost to the Niners, and now are flying back to the East Coast for another back-to-back road spot. Sheesh. One of these games they're dropping.
I mean, so you would say that, I mean, that would seem to be in line that you'd be a little bit in favor of the dog here rather than the.
I don't know. I got to talk to Shawn because it's either this one or the Jack. Like that's a brutal schedule.
Yeah. The only thing with this one is, again, they did play a Thursday night game. Like they're coming into this, they do have a little bit of extra rest coming into this one. So to me, that part, like, and also they're coming from home. So they were at home for basically 2 weeks and then they fly out for this one, even though it's
count the flights before
1 p.m. Eastern game.
I like this play, by the way. Like it's another reason I like this play. But you got, flight from LA to Tennessee, Tennessee back to LA to Philadelphia, Philly to LA, and LA to Baltimore to Jacksonville if they do that, or they're going to go back and it's 2 flights. That's 7. That could be as much as 7 flights. It's a lot of travel. I'm just saying that for a guy like Matthew Stafford, who has like a bad back, and I mean, I like the under. I absolutely like the under.
Yeah.
But that is something worth monitoring. That is a lot of travel. And then
Who do the Rams play after
they
the
play the
Ravens?
Saints at home, and then they go they play the Niners, and then they have like a string of. It's not.
I
the
can't believe I'm
easiest
saying this.
string.
I might be on the Saints on that line, depending on what that is, because I
Well,
think the
that
Saints
team
are
may be
risky.
fire selling in the next week. Like they were proving some proof of life, and now they're doing that. But let's talk about this. Let's get to the topic at hand, and then we can get to Shawn. So to make sure that everybody's clear, under 44.5.
Under 44.5. Yeah.
Would you
So
do would you go down to the under 39.5 for the nice alt?
do we have a price for that?
Probably not yet.
Let's see. Probably not. Let me just real quick see if they have it. If they have it, great. I mean, as always, depends on the price for these things, but let's see, game lines. I don't know if I'm seeing an alt under yet.
It's fine. It's all good. We'll go to this. All right. So here's what I wanted to do.
Oh, plus 190. I don't hate that. It's almost 2 to 1.
I like that. I like that. It's almost 2 to 1. I think I actually like that a lot.
Okay. 2
I like
to 1.
All right. So I thought about this morning when I was adding in that newsletter that I droned on about this earlier about what you do when you get into Monday and how you do things. I know Shawn guesses lines. And now what I started doing is I start to upgrade or downgrade teams, and some teams stay the same. So I want to do that with you, and I want to do that with Shawn. Let's go through. We'll do an upgrade, a downgrade. Maybe we should just do. Do you want to just bring Shawn in now for it? Makes more sense, right?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. Right,
Is Shawn ready? Let's do it. We'll just go through all of them. The upgrade, downgrade,
what's going on, buddy?
Hello. I just want to give a big shout out to my friend CJ because you were very nice to my favorite football team because you said, I think they kind of stink. And I said, no, they fucking stink.
Yeah, no. Maybe I should have said they fucking suck.
You're gonna get your floor on this segment. Don't you worry. All right. All right. Let's start this off, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. We're all gonna go around, and we all name a team that we upgrade. Let's talk about an upgrade, and then we'll talk about a team that we downgraded, and then we'll talk about a team that is who we thought they were, at least in our heads. Shawn, as the guest, you can go first. Give me the team that you are upgrading and a why.
So the team that I'm upgrading, and I didn't want to upgrade them, is the Indianapolis Colts, led by one Daniel Indiana Jones. Berg, you know this. I was last week I had bet DJ to throw a pick because I was like, this shit is not going to last. But you know what? Daniel Jones may be this year's Sam Darnold because he's in an offense. Because
by the way, guess which coach helped both of those guys? KOC.
Chaos. There you go. Because because Daniel Jones was on Minnesota.
Yeah, he didn't play, but he was on there.
That's right. I forgot about that. He was a back.
Anyway, getting all down. But Carson Wentz could be MVP, guys. Just keep.
Berg has heard me say this. Like Carson Wentz being MVP of the league before he tore his ACL lives rent free in my head. Like there's a quarterback in there somewhere. Someone's gonna get it out somewhere. But whatever. Like they have listen, it's a lot of underneath, it's a lot of short throws, there's not a lot of staying in his comfort zone. They have Jonathan Taylor, who I did not want to draft in fantasy, but I said, why am I not? So let me just take him because the second round, he offensive player of the year potential right there. Like they can run the ball, solid defense. He doesn't have to. They ask him to keep it simple. They're not asking him to do anything ridiculous. They're not asking him to save the team or carry the team. Unlike another team we'll probably get to who wears purple and black that plays in the state of Maryland. But for me to not upgrade them is just either emotions or hate, and I'm not going to do that.
That's completely fair. My upgrade. By the way, that team has cost me so much liability because I forget about the lowest scoring team. That's gone. They're probably going to be the highest scoring team, and they're not going to be the least.
Worst record is gone.
Worst record is very gone.
Jets has something to say about that.
I was looking it up as you guys were doing it, but he has Daniel Jones has Amongst he has the 9th highest turnover worthy throws, but he's doing a great job. Okay, mine is Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay Bucks I upgraded because I said this before that I liked this team. I liked them against the Eagles before. I like that they've had a ton of injuries. I love now that they have a ton of injuries because a ton of injuries early in the season, pre-bye, probably winning AFC South, it's coasted into their 4th seed that they will get. That is going to harden that team and is going to create depth position players that are going to be able to step up at any given moment in playoffs. It's going to create very strong trench for them. Flying to Seattle and getting into a shootout with Sam Darnold wasn't something I expected, especially down Bucky Irving. Rashad White is not good. Shout out Sean Tucker.
NPC.
But yeah, exactly. He's borderline NPC. And but I mean Baker was awesome. And Sean and I've gone back and forth on the Baker MVP stuff. I've raised the ceiling. I didn't downgrade the Seattle on that one. I upgraded Tampa. Thought that was not what I expected out of Todd Bowles. Watching Todd Bowles the last couple of years, I wish that defense could get a couple more stops, and that's fine. But that team generally hasn't traveled well like that, and they stepped up, and they stepped up again on a final drive. It's and just said we are going to win this. That's what their 4th. That they've won all their games on the final drive. And they've just taken it. It's killer instinct. Upgrading the Tampa Bay Bucks. CJ?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say if Seattle had been able to pull that one out, I still might have kind of upgraded Seattle a little bit. Like, Darnold has looked so much better than I was going to give him credit for. I thought that the trade-off, I was one of the people over the summer that said the trade-off from Geno to Darnold was like, it didn't really make any sense to me. Like, I thought that Geno was actually maybe slightly a better player for that system. And I will admit mea culpa on that. Definitely, because Darnold has been awesome. I think the upgrade for me is it's just got to be Denver. I think Denver. This was like a prove it week for me on Denver. This was a team that I know Adam and I were super high on in the preseason. Apparently, a lot of public was also high on the Broncos by the end of August as well. But I love their
public. Travis Kelce just got the first touchdown. Let's talk about public and Shawn.
Oh God.
The day
I love their defense.
The day after Taylor Swift drops an album, Travis Kelce gets the first TD. Come on.
Oh man, just you know what? You just can't make this
Public
stuff
has
up.
been eating all weekend. All weekend,
Yeah.
the public's been eating.
Well, except for,
yeah, not
Yeah.
on camera. Yeah, well, yeah, keep going.
well, and the Denver game was not a public game. That was definitely a game that. And you know what? Like that game also. That's another one where like you watch the game. Denver was in that game the whole game. Like it was 17-3. I'm like, it doesn't feel like 17-3 to me. Like Denver feels like they are playing like basically on par or better than the Eagles. They've just had a little bit of bad luck. So also you look at their schedule too. Yes, they had the Titans. Yes, they had the Bengals without Joe Burrow as part of that first 5 games. They also had that game against the Colts, which they got screwed on and should have beat the Colts.
The leverage call.
The leverage play, which Shawn, you already called out. I think we all have like underestimated that the Colts actually might be a like top 5 offense in the league, at least right now, based on the first 5 weeks. So that was a very tough game in retrospect. They had a tough loss to a divisional opponent on the road who was playing well against the Chargers. And then they go into Philly, and like that's just not a small task to, even though that's a Philly team that I think has maybe some issues that were exposed in that game. I gotta upgrade Denver a little bit. I think they maybe are who we thought they were, and that's a good thing.
Good time. I'm gonna let Shawn start this off because who are you downgrading? And this might be, I don't know if this is the time for you to talk about your guys, or do you want to save it?
So do I get a segment to talk about the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah.
I think we need to save
that.
All right. So luckily I wrote Baltimore, but I wrote an honorable mention just in case. So I'll use my honorable mention, and it's the New York Jets. Because not that I thought that they would be good, but good Lord, like they are bad. They are bad. Like, I actually believe Aaron Glenn is the first Jets coach in history to go 0-5 in his first 5 games. And you're the Jets, and this has never
Worse
happened
than Adam
before.
Gase. He's worse than Adam Gase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're bad. Like, I thought they would be, and you know what? And Berg, we spoke about this. Like, they dropped 32 on the Steelers, and we're like, oh, you know what? And then we went all in on we went all in on Justin Fields props the next week, and then you said it like we bought high on Justin Fields. And I was like,
why did we do that?
Well, you know what? Because we thought we were buying low. Because I thought.
Well, what's funny about that team was when one of the newsletters. So the Jets have outgained everybody every single week, and the first thing that I looked at, I said to myself when I saw this is, do not fall for this sharp shit of the Jets are outgaining teams. No, watch the games. This Jets team is bad.
Well, you know what it was? The Jets ran for, and we'll get to this later. The Jets ran for 182 yards against the Steelers week 1. Like 182. Like not 105, not 120, 182. And listen, you know I will take any chance I can get to shit on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I know at their core they're gonna at the bare minimum they're gonna try to be stout offensively, and they and they had 6 months to prepare for this game, and they let Justin Fields and Breece Hall run all over them. I was like, okay, and then like they stink. Like Berg and I had a back and forth on text this week about like I wanted to bet Jets worst record at 10-1, and Berg gave me reason, which I'm not going to share on this podcast because it's not a political show. But he said don't do it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. They fucking stink. So they
you can say it. You can say it. It's because I just don't. It's fine. You can say it. I mean,
Berg did not want me and him to root against a black coach.
I don't want to root against a black coach.
Yeah, but I'm like, these dudes fucking suck. And honestly, the Miami game, because like Miami historically by DVOA defense is like maybe like the worst defense of all time. And I said, okay, they may be able to do something against Miami. And they're not granted fumbles, whatever, but they fucking suck. And the whole, and you know something? I'll say this. I'm going to give a shout out to Uncle Bill Simmons, who said, if you're going to say that the Chicago Bears are going to be upgraded by having Ben Johnson as their OC, as their coach, you can't then say, oh, the Lions will be fine. And you know what? He's like, it's one or the other. And it seems like he was right, because guess what? The Lions losing their coordinator doesn't really seem to matter.
I never understood why Aaron Glenn, to be honest, got like all the love that he did running the defense of the
That was
Lions
never a
last
great
year.
defense.
Like it was never a good defense. Like it was like fine. Like it was never a great defense. And then it's like he got some weird credit after Hutchinson went out, and they were still like pretty mid. Actually, like,
I don't get why Hutchinson, by the way, is the shortest odds for DPOY.
The biggest thing with Aaron Glenn was like, oh, well, he helps he puts in schemes to help force turnovers. The Jets have not forced a single turnover. They're the first team. Another shout out to Bill Simmons. They have not forced a turnover since 1933.
Yeah.
Okay? 5 games into the season, they have yet to force a single fucking turnover. Yeah, that's like hard. That's so hard.
It's a variance play. It's literally something that is out of your control 50%. So statistically, it should accidentally happen.
By accident, you should get a turnover.
Yeah, you should accidentally get a fumble or do something, and they haven't. And it's wild. That is wild to me. All right. Team that is who we thought they were. Oh, so my bad team is the Ravens. So I'm going to save it all to let you. I'm going to yield my time to you for the final segment. The team that stayed the same for me is the Texans. I don't think that the Texans are a better team than they were before. I think the Texans effectively played against the equivalent to playing if you play Madden and you play against somebody else, but there's no actual second player. So you just leave the controller there and they're just going through the motions. And you're just like, look at this. I just ran up the score against, my sister or against whoever who walked away from the controller. That is what that Texans offense is. There was actually a lot of things that they weren't able to do. If you look at some of their efficiency, like Woody Marks running against a defensive line that literally went like this because they didn't want to tackle anybody, had a negative EPA per rush, and he's a pretty good player. So, but that team I still think stinks. I think that team is not good. The movement on their offensive line is not good. Nothing ever looks comfortable. I think Nico Collins is overrated. I didn't change anything from watching that team against the Ravens. CJ and then Sean can go into.
Well, I didn't get to give my team my.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
But I'll be real quick and just say it's the Buffalo Bills. And the only reason for that is if you're betting a future on the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl, good luck. Like I know that they're most likely still going to get the 1 seed. I'm telling you, I've seen this story every single season that Sean McDermott has been the head coach and Josh Allen has been the quarterback. They're going to get to the playoffs. They're going to be the 1 seed, and their defense is going to let up 30 to something points against Kansas City in the playoffs or another team. Their defense is not good. We're ignoring it because their offense is usually so good it can basically mask it. But don't bet them to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying it right now. That defense – something has to change for them for me to actually upgrade them to really believe that they're going to change something. That we've seen the same thing over and over again every year. So Bills,
that team gets cooked underneath, dude.
Downgrade, yes, and they're a horrible tackling team. Like they can't tackle to save their life. Team I kept the same was we talked about them. It was the Rams. Like I know the Rams blew they didn't blow, but what was it? Were they -7.5 or -8? It closed either
-8.5.
It was
the lesson for everybody is if you are a primetime game, it's a divisional opponent. Do not lay more than a touchdown
on a short week. Yeah, so
like any of them,
don't do
Bills
that.
was the same situation.
This team by every metric though.
That's why I took the Giants on Thursday against the Eagles.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't. I mean, that's. You got to be a brave man. I feel like to still be backing the Giants anyway. But Rams for me though, I still think are. I just think this team is still really good, and every metric would still kind of back that up. Both on defense, Stafford has still been awesome. Well, it's week 5, so maybe he runs out of the juice or whatever shot they put into his back in a few weeks. But I'm just not changing my opinion on them after being a big favorite and losing to a guy that has seen this team a million times. And Kyle,
no, that's fair. And
so
they had some bounces. They had very weird. I mean, they missed.
And the Kyron fumble at the goal line too. That was like and
the Corum fumble.
So.
They had. It was just yeah. No, I get that.
Arizona right. Says hold my beer.
Yeah, Sean, who you thought they were, and then let's talk about the flock.
So really quickly, I just want to point to everyone that the Buffalo Bills have played 5 games and 4 of them been at home. So they have a lot of road games coming up. They've literally played 1 game at home in the first 5 weeks, and it was on the road. It was against the New York Jets, who fucking stink. The team that are who we thought they were is fittingly could only be the team whose head coach once said we are who they thought they were, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. Because I texted Adam, Samuel, Michael Jackson Rosenberg on Thursday and said no team hates prosperity like the Arizona Cardinals. And what did the Arizona Cardinals do? They found a way to beat Arizona Cardinals. Like anyone who thought that they could win the NFC, fuck you. Like go like
never again.
Like that team, as long as that, listen, every single time Kyler Murray does Kyler Murray things, I go on Twitter and I find the Ryan Clark video where he said, I would rather trust Kyler Murray to win the Super Bowl over Lamar Jackson, and I retweet it because they literally are who they thought they were. Like, yes, you could tell me, if Amari DeMarcado doesn't fumble, do you know how many points the Cardinals scored in the second half of that game? I'll give you a hint. It's less than 1. They didn't score in the second half at all against the fucking Titans at home.
Who we had just said, this Titans, who let them score 2 minutes into the game and are bad.
No, they're bad. Like, no, they're ass. And you know why I can say that? Because literally the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans said we ass. They're ass. So the Cardinals are who they thought they were. They're the team that's gonna be. They almost gave it away to the Saints in week 1.
I was literally about to say, Sean, they almost gave it away to the Saints. They almost gave it away to the Titans too in week. What was it week? Not the Titans. They gave it away to the Titans. To the Panthers.
Saints.
The Panthers.
Yes, I was on Arizona that week, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Like it's like Walter White from Breaking Bad. Like eventually,
that's a mentally weak team.
I will never put, as long as Kyler Murray wears Arizona red, I will never put the Cardinals in a teaser, a parlay, a survivor pool, nothing, because they will find a way to fuck it up because they do not like prosperity.
Nope. I like I said, I had what I think was a great tweet, which was, this is when Jonathan Gannon peaked, and it was that drive to that San Francisco 49ers conference championship where he pulled up in his truck and said, we're going to gut him. And then after that, it's been all downhill. He broke Brock Purdy's arm, which, by the way, he had a terrible defense that year. I want to point that out too. He was like the Aaron Glenn. He was Aaron Glenn before Aaron Glenn was doing anything. No, I can get behind that. All right. So now let's get to the main course. What the fuck is wrong with your team?
All right, how much time do I get?
3 minutes? You got whatever, man. We got, this is it. This is what we're doing. This, and we're building a parlay.
Okay.
But if we can find ways to, by the way, do this where we figure out some bets, because I'm going to pull up some like markets, because there's some things that I was looking at for this, that how we could do it. So keep going.
After this show, I'm going to I'm a Ravens fan. I've been a Ravens fan since 2000. You should absolutely bet Rams minus 7.5. Like, absolutely. Because Nick Wright had a lovely soliloquy on the Dan Le Batard show last week, and he talked about, is Lamar Jackson the issue? And he basically did what I like to call a gross and disgusting oversimplification of saying, like, the reason why the Ravens haven't won is because in the big moments, in the big games, Lamar Jackson doesn't show up. And Dan Le Batard, to his credit, said it's only a big game when they lose, and which is right, because when they beat the Texans in the playoffs, no one said that's a big game. Don't tell me the game, the loss against Kansas City in week 4 was a big game, but in the year before, in 2023, on Christmas Day, when they went to San Francisco and beat the shit out of them, that's not a big game.
That was awesome. I think all of us were texting each other. We didn't all, like, I don't think I had combined friend groups on this, but you and I were definitely talking, Sean. It was like, It was awesome.
Yeah. With that said, the Baltimore Ravens on January 1st, 2020, had the MVP of the league at quarterback on a rookie contract, and they've made one conference championship game. Think about that. You had the MVP of the league on a rookie deal, and you made one conference championship game. One. And it's easy to say, oh, because Lamar Jackson is James Harden or whatever. And listen, here's what I'm going to say about the Lamar Jackson discourse, which is mostly cooked. The people who say, first of all, when Nick Wright dismisses the bad actors and the racists from the conversation, and I understand why he's doing it, because, they're bad actors and they're racist. However, to totally dismiss the bad actors from the conversation who say why the Ravens can't win, when arguably the best talent evaluator of the modern era, and Bill Polian, comes out and says, this guy's a wide receiver, like, that gives the bad actors as well as the smart people a platform to stand on. With that said, a lot of people want to talk about the Sunday's game, and it says because of the injuries. But guess what? The defense did not have a bunch of guys off the street. They had a bunch of guys that they drafted, and they're just not good enough. Period. End of story. This organization, led by this head coach and this general manager, have had a level of hubris when it came to team building. Specifically, they always go cheap on wide receiver and pass rush. They put all their resources into drafting and signing linebackers and corners and safeties and whatever. But when it comes to pass rush, we're going to draft them. This team has not had a consistent pass rusher since Terrell Suggs. Guess what? Terrell Suggs retired in 2016. Like, the only reason why I would
crazy.
not...
That's a long time ago.
The only reason... Listen, they drafted Odafe Oweh out of the Pennsylvania State University the year after he had as many sacks as I did in college. They drafted David Ojabo from Michigan, who tore his Achilles in the combine. So, which means he was a redshirt. You're in a Super Bowl or bust season, and you're drafting fucking red shirts? But the coup de grace, the piece de resistance is after the 2023 AFC Championship game, where the head coach decided it was okay to let the offensive coordinator run the ball to running back 6 times at home. Our defensive coordinator was Mike McDonald. He took the job in Seattle. And again, with Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, John Harbaugh decided that I should make Zachary Orr, who has literally never coached a defense on every level, to be my defensive coordinator. And what a surprise! By week 3, everyone saw he was in over his head. And guess what? Everyone's been saying that since day one. But what did John Harbaugh say in the press conference? I don't think firing Zach Orr is the right decision, because John Harbaugh wants to do things the John Harbaugh way. And if you go against John Harbaugh, you will be removed. Marcus Williams, when they talked to him last year about why the defense is so bad, he said, "Listen, they tell me what to do and I be there, and that's what I do." And Marcus Williams was not on the team in 2 weeks. He was a healthy scratch, I should say. Now, to be fair, CJ, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you remember the Minneapolis Miracle?
Of course I remember the Minneapolis Miracle.
And do you remember how there was a dude that, instead of just trying to tackle Stephon Diggs...
Oh my God, wasn't that Saints guy? Who was it? Man, I want to say...
It was Marcus Williams.
Oh, Marcus Williams. Okay.
Williams.
Right.
And our head coach said, "Hey, let's go get that guy." Anyway, I say that to say, here's why I land the plane. The only reason, the 2% chance that I would consider taking the Ravens this weekend is if they decide to do something different, because they will watch the tape and say, because one thing I'll say about John Harbaugh, no matter how injured we've been, no matter how many guys we've been down, the team always comes up to play and fight. We literally had never lost to the Houston Texans at home. Literally ever.
Bad.
And 44-10.
I do think I said it in the previous segment. You even pinged on the chat here and said 31-2. I underestimated this coming into last week. I didn't have a bet on that game, but I think there might have been a little bit of some like fuck you guys.
Oh no, that was definitely something.
Houston.
That was definitely like a fuck you. That was definitely like a fuck you. But you know something? Before it was 27-3. Like it was definitely a fuck you. Like they definitely ran it up. But at the end of the day, like all of us, and the reason why the discourse about Lamar Jackson is fucked is that for the people like me who support Lamar Jackson, say it's not that he's blameless. Because I love to say like, oh, no, it's not that he's blameless. It's that when you try to point the finger at him and only him, that's when you have lost me. Because Berg will tell you, after the AFC Championship game in the 2023 season, I said John Harbaugh needs to be fired tomorrow.
He did.
And everyone said, oh, well, he's made the playoffs and this, then third, and he won a Super Bowl, whatever. And here we are. And now people are saying what we've been saying for years. Like him, he won a Super Bowl because he had future Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame Ed Reed, future Hall of Famer Terrell Suggs to say, listen, do you know, at that, and I'll land the plane here, that goal line stand against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, it was first and goal from the 3. And Ray Lewis said this on the record. He said, yo, we're running cover 0. That's what we have to run. They didn't want to run that. And Ray Lewis in his last game said, no. We're running this. And they ran cover 0 every down, and they got and they stopped them. And once all those guys who John Harbaugh couldn't tell shit to were gone, I can run this team in my image. And here we are.
You know what's crazy?
I mean-
Out of all of this, John, I was looking at the prices for them to make the playoffs. I'm like, they've got to be a plus price at this point, right?
They're not.
And
Well, it's
they're minus 172.
You know why they are?
Because they play in a shit division.
Yeah, they play in a shitty division.
They have the Rams this week. They're going to get destroyed. They have a bye. And then after that, the next 6 games are cake. But
Yes.
the problem with the cake is you think this is your big brother's Baltimore Ravens. Like, this team, they can't stop. Like, Nandi Madubuike should be Defensive Player of the Year because he's out for the year. Like, they were never good at pass defense, but they were good at stopping the run because they had him. He's gone. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They can't run the ball. Like if you needed, like, to all the Buffalo Bills fans who try to tell me that Derrick Henry is carrying Lamar Jackson, fuck you. Fuck you. Lamar Jackson has been covering up a lot of stink on this fucking team for years. But anytime we try to tell you, you told me no, because Eric DeCosta tells everyone when people used to say the Ravens are the best roster in the league. I'm like, what the fuck roster are you looking at?
They had a win total of highly juiced over on the 11.5 this season.
I wouldn't have like this team is fundamentally. This team was carried by coordinators who knew how to scheme things, and Lamar Jackson and Nnamdi Madubuike. And Madubuike is gone. Jackson's gone till after the bye, and Mike McDonald's gone. And now we're seeing who the Ravens really are and how much stink has been covered up by those guys. So the only reason why you should be hesitant to take the Ravens is because John Harbaugh says, all right, we're going to do things differently. We're going to bench this guy. I'm going to make Chuck Pagano defense coordinator because right now he's on the staff. But if they come knowing John Harbaugh and his hubris, they're going to try to do the same thing over again, and they're going to get their ass kicked.
Berg, I know you're also following intently.
I'm following intently. I got to be honest. I'm intently following what has become a Phillies. Phillies come from behind in the 9th, and we're looking at it. It's gonna
really.
It's got a Roki and Schwarber matchup right now.
Yeah. Sasaki's in now. It's whatever.
I had no idea. My team gave up 13 runs.
Yeah, my Ravens is this Phillies team making me try to believe. Fuck this team. Though shout out to Harrison Bader, good Bronx Jew on Sakote, who hits a pinch hit single. He's from the Bronx.
Sure.
Anyway, his pretty sure his dad is a doctor. But so my Ravens bet, I'm just looking for the price, but it would be exact stage of elimination, wild card round.
They're not making the playoffs. They're going 8-9. They're not. Because
and then I want then I want that alt under. Then I just want that alt under 8.5 because I'm seeing the juiced under 9.5 at minus 145. I'll just take the under 8.5 at plus 170 if I can find it.
Like because the changes they're going to have to I promise you, Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta are saying to themselves, all right, the Rams game, we'll lose the Rams game, we'll get Lamar back, and then we'll be fine. But that defense is off. To people like Marcus Spears, who want to defend John Harbaugh and talking about injuries, they were the worst defense in the league after week 3. And they
I'm looking at their schedule here, Sean, and it's the problem.
Cake.
The problem, though, that because I was just assuming, I'm like, okay, they have played I think the second hardest strength of schedule in the league to start the season, but the problem is when they get to that. So, all right, after this Rams game, let's play you could realistically say they win 7 and 8 of their next games. The problem is they get the Patriots, the Packers, and at the Steelers. That's key, at the Steelers, because Lamar is a different guy when he plays in Pittsburgh versus when he plays at M&T. He has always had problems for some reason playing in Pittsburgh. So those last 3 games are like all toss-up games, and that's assuming that they're back to like the firing at all cylinders, everyone's healthy types of
And they're
levels.
not
So
going to be, because they're going to be 7-10. Like their best.
I came into this thinking I'm going to make a case here for they're still going to make the playoffs, but I'm looking at those last 3 games and like those are all fairly losable games.
Their
So wait,
best
so then
run, their best
Go,
run
go, go.
stuffer is gone for the year. He's not coming back. Like,
Ground
do
out, by the
not
way.
buy.
It's
Do
really
not
stink.
buy yourself. Do not. Don't do it to yourself. Like, honestly, this team. Listen, every year, shout out to Uncle Bill. Says every year, look at the top 5 teams. One of those teams has a year from hell. This year's the Ravens, 7-10. I actually looked at the Ravens under 8 wins. It was like +3 something. I thought about taking it.
Oh, I'd take that.
Ooh, I kind of
Where'd
like
you
that
find
too.
it? Yeah, where did you find that?
It was I was looking on Pickett.
Oh, dude, I want that. Yeah, I gotta look. Let me look.
You got that at 3-1?
I will absolutely take that like now.
You guys lost to the. Wait a minute, so you're down 2-0 to the Dodgers?
Yeah, we're done.
Fuck. Now we have to save. Now the Yankees have to save the world.
Yankees or the Blue Jays have to save the world. So it's one of those kind of situations.
Listen, if the Yankees win tomorrow night, they're winning the series because if they survive Rodon. If Rodon can win,
if the Yankees survive Rodon, yeah.
If they win Game 3, Schlittler will win Game 4, and Fried already got his bullshit game out the way. They'll win Game 5. But it's either Blue Jays in 3 or Yankees in 5.
I mean, someone just asked me who has a better chance of coming back from 0-2, the Phillies or the Yankees, and my reply was the Democrats. You
guys lost both games at home? God.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I hate the Dodgers now. Because I never gave a fuck about the Dodgers until 2 years ago because they were in another league. And now, whatever.
I don't know. I took a chalky parlay of Dodgers to win the World Series and Chiefs to win the division with a free bet that was like 8-1, and I'm just like, all right, well, this is kind of sitting there. All right, so I think we all agree. Okay, fine. I guess we all agree.
Yeah, under 7.5 is +320.
Where
is that?
On FanDuel.
Oh,
okay.
I'm taking that right now. That's a bet for me. That's a bet. Yeah, that is definitely a bet. That's a great
shout out to the listeners after going through Shawn, your wonderful
therapy session
on the Ravens. You were rewarded with a great bet.
This is a great bet.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
this is a great bet. It's way better than my first inclination, which was, can I make the case for Lamar MVP at 25-1?
No, that's over.
No,
that's over.
Don't do it. All right. That said, let's once we get this in, win totals. Oh, this is great.
That's a bonkers price for
that is an absolutely bonkers.
But then again, people still have them at like minus something to make the playoffs. I'm like, yo, how are you?
I just took +320. That's an awesome price. It's like they're minus 145 to be under 9.5. Like this is so stupid. This is are they saying like?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that was a find. That was great.
The 2015 Ravens, that was the year after they lost to New England. Finished 5-11, and they started like 1-8, and then Flacco tore his ACL. Like this can happen. Like I've seen a Ravens team 3 years from a Super Bowl title start 1-7 or 1-8. 7-10 for this team is absolutely on the board. They're the year from hell team.
All right. Well, let's kind of do something fun. Let's talk. Well, here's what I want to do. So we'll do 2 things, and I'm going to give 2 minutes for this one thing. Shawn.
Yes.
Tell me tell me, we had really good conversation about this, and I think it's good for having right now. And I want you and CJ should really talk about it, but you guys know my opinion. Who do you want for MVP bet right now? Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff?
So yesterday, me and Berg had a 96 text conversation back and forth. I said keep an eye on Baker. I said keep an eye on Baker for MVP. I actually am leaning more towards Jared Goff because basically it comes down to as we've said, Adam, like top 2 seeds. So okay. So here's the first question: who do you think is gonna be the top seed in the NFC? Eagles,
Detroit.
Detroit.
I think
I
right
think
now
Detroit.
it's got to be Detroit. And Detroit will have a game to play against the Eagles. I believe they do play each other. So
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but I still either way. This Detroit team I think looks awesome.
what I'll say is, if you think Philly won't be a top 2 seed and you think Tampa will be, then take Baker. If you don't think Tampa will be a top 2 seed, then it's Goff. Because then the narrative will be like, how come Jared Goff, who's been the spark behind this Ravens turnaround, never been an MVP? And that's the other reason why I think Dan Campbell for Coach of the Year might be lying, because it'll be like,
I did.
how come
He didn't win it that year, that first year,
he
right?
should have won it last year, but
Yeah.
KOC was
well,
dragging
KOC, yeah, KOC had
yeah, that's what it was.
had
It
the
was
case last year.
So I think I'm looking at in terms of MVP. I would make a bet right now for Goff, because you remember Berg last year. I had Goff at 40-1 last year.
And you called out. You're like, this is the game against Buffalo. If you do it, if he wins this, he's minus 330.
Yeah, and then it went awry. So that's the guy I will pick.
My whole thing on it is, it's the right. Like I said, it's the right bet to make right now. At 18-1, it's a crazy bet to not make it for arguably the best team in the NFC. I'm just a little bit cool on it because he's going to have less passing yards. And this is obviously just getting real technical on it. He may not have he may not have as great of counting stats as he's had in past years, but he's going to have a 14-3 team and a 1 seed. And which, by the way, this team got pants last year by the Commanders. Like, Dan Campbell's as petty as me. Like, that's another reason why I'm kind of backing this team. It's sort of, they remember this. He reminds them every game. The one thing that kind of gave me also pause is that these are the stat padding games right now, and instead they're winning games like smart instead of him throwing for 300 yards. But I like it. The reason I don't like the Bucks one, not the Bucks, but the Baker one, is because Eagles have that tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And it's harder for him to get to the 2. And then when we saw that the passing yards leader is 12-1, that's like that. I think that's the bet for him. But the Goff bet's the right bet to make, because, in my opinion, after we talked about this for a couple weeks, especially looking at this right now, it's Mahomes, it's Goff, probably still Allen, but Allen sabotaged himself pretty nicely on television last night.
He's not winning that.
What is there? 2 picks?
He's not winning that shit this year. Like from someone who
it's even money, which is ridiculous.
From someone who pays attention to how people vote, I'm when last year I told anyone who will listen, they're not giving Lamar Jackson his 3 MVPs in 4 years.
I said that too.
They're not. They're not. The only thing about Baker,
Josh Allen's turn is what it was. It's Josh Allen's turn.
So Baker threw for exactly 4,500 yards last year, and he did that on I think it was 7.8 yards per attempt. And this
he was also behind Burrow, who was just playing from behind every game.
But this year he's at 7.3 yards per attempt.
He's on pace for he's still on pace for 4,300. But I think the next couple weeks. Wait, hold on. One last thing. The next couple weeks, he's not going to have running backs. He's going to have way more instead. First of all, he happens to randomly have an extra wide receiver 1 in Lagambuka, who's fucking awesome. And because of the Irving injuries and the running back injuries, they are going to have to throw it a little more. He's going to get all of those stats. I just don't think he can get MVP because the Eagles beat them, so they're not going to get the 2 seed.
Here's what's going to happen.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I would say though about the Baker bet, right? Which is if you want to bet Baker, don't do it right now. And the reason is because go look at who the Bucks are going to end up playing here. And if you go look at the Bucks schedule, so I'm pulling up their schedule right now.
Bucks will probably be the 4th.
All right. So I had a good point here. So, all right. So Bucks play the Lions on Monday. So in 2 weeks, they play a Monday night game against the Lions, right? So that's a good showcase game for him. They get New Orleans next week at New Orleans. No one will really be paying attention to that game. They get a bye week.
It's a good
Bye
New
week
Orleans
is on
spot.
November
It's a look
2nd.
ahead.
All right?
That's a look ahead spot, by the way. That's a
It is
very
good.
good New Orleans spot. We got to remember that.
They get a bye week. The key thing is they get a bye week on November the 2nd. You know what's also happening November the 2nd? Chiefs Bills. So Chiefs Bills play that Sunday. Coming out of that Chiefs Bills game, one of Mahomes or Allen is almost certainly going to be favored to win MVP coming out of that game.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Baker, however, right after that game has New England at home, and then he's got Buffalo, and then he has a Sunday night game at the Rams. So there's 3 straight games where he can go and build up his resume, and you're going to buy him cheap after that Chiefs Bills game because whoever's going to be coming out of that game, they're going to be a minus after that game. So wait to bet Baker after their bye. That's the time. If you want to strike on him and you feel like the Bucs can get that seed, that's when I would buy it.
So I would say, because I was looking at their schedule also, and I was like, all right, if they beat the Lions, that game's in Detroit, it'll tick up a little bit. But to your point, if
it'll be less than 10-1. He'll move to 9-1.
But if he goes into Buffalo and wins, it's the Lamar Jackson corollary. To my friend Ali, he was like, "Oh, we were playing New England, and Lamar was 6-1." I said, "If you think we're gonna win this game, bet him now." That Bills, if he walks into Buffalo and wins that game, it's to the moon.
Yeah, look, if you want to get CLV, bet him right now. Just bet him right now. Just take because you get him at is he 13-1 still? I think
he's 13-1. By the way, he was 35-1 preseason, and so it's like a third the number at that, and that's why the argument that I'd say is if you like him for MVP, like I would take him for passing yards leader at 12-1 now for sure because that can happen and he doesn't need MVP. And if he gets to that point where he's 6-1 for MVP, that he's not 12-1 to lead the league in passing yards.
Agreed. I just think that if they do,
Stafford is the leader, and that's not going to hold up.
No, if you think they'll beat the Niners, all right, whatever. But if you think they're going to beat the Lions in Detroit, take it now. Like if you think he can, but to your point, they could lose to the Lions, but that build if they walk into Buffalo and beat Josh Allen, that's it. That's the spot right there.
And like I said, if you think they'll beat the Lions and you want to get CLV right now, go bet it right now. But if you just want to make a bet that it's going to the game that's going to increase his probability more than anything is going to be that Bills game and the Rams Sunday night game. They're going to be back to back. Plus they have
this is the good time to remind everybody that again, awards markets are reactive, not predictive, and that's why for this use it well. Like this is sort of similar to and then I promise we're doing a parlay. 2 years ago, it was before that Purdy game. God, that Purdy game was huge for everybody. Because we all hated Brock Purdy.
It's a good Rubicon game,
honestly. The Christmas game.
The Christmas game. But that was the week that I called you. I was on my run because I would call Allie and I would call Shawn on Sunday mornings when I would go on a run. And I was like, Shawn, got to bet Ravens 1 seed at 3-1. And he's like, that's so short. And I said, I get it, but it's over. He's like, they're not even playing a divisional conference opponent. I'm like, if they pants Brock Purdy on Christmas.
And they did.
They're just going to run it the rest of the way, and it's over. And that by the way, became minus 120 the next day. It was done.
It was over.
They didn't even play a team in the AFC. And
shout out to Mike Florio, who told everyone the Niners were going to kick the Ravens' ass. Everyone
that was great.
It. And he went in there and beat their. Yes, they did. So
all right, let's. That said,
they pulled a Mark Sanchez
parlay running back props only. Too soon. All right, this was fun. This became a real sports show today. This wasn't even dad oriented stuff. As I got a text from my wife of, did you give our daughter sugar because she's in bed not going to sleep singing, which I did because I picked her up from dance. I gave her a cookie, but I said no, I would never do that. So we will see. We'll see how this develops over the next thing. All right. Anything that is running back oriented is live for this. That is up. And
Thursday ones are, I believe.
There's a good amount of stuff up. But I'll let you
There's more
guys.
stuff up there. Yeah, I've
I
got.
have
If,
heard
you,
that
and even if we don't have it, we can kind of talk through like what we would think
Yeah.
it would be. But I can tell you, I'll let you guys. I'll let Sean. Sean, you can go first.
Quinshawn Junkins, whatever his over rushing yards is, just bet it.
Love it.
Just
Love
He
it.
should have had like 200 in
He
that
should have had
game
200
last
yards.
weekend.
And listen, I was like, all right, Brian Flores, like the Browns against the Brian Flores defense, the Browns starting fucking Dylan Gabriel, they're gonna stack the box, whatever, and he got money. Like whatever his over rushing yards is, just take that. Like take that. Like, again, because they're playing Pittsburgh again. Pittsburgh allowed your New York Jets to run for 182 yards. Like, no.
I like the Browns plus 4.5 for what it's worth, but
I mean, I do too. I
too.
that's for tomorrow. Sean, you like
Yes, sir.
Junkins?
Yes.
CJ,
Whatever his
what do you
over
got?
rushing yards is, take it.
I'm gonna go with take the over longest rush for Saquon over. I think it's 16.5 is what it is right now as the line. He's only been over this once, and there's like a whole narrative that has Saquon lost his burst. We haven't seen any big plays from Saquon besides the reception this past week, but Giants top 5 in explosive plays that they give up to running backs. I think their defense is better, but their strength is on the pass rush. It's not on defending explosive plays and running backs, and Saquon eats against this team. So, yeah, I like Saquon. I think Saquon's going to have a nice game Thursday, and over longest rush 16.5.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Why the fuck did the Philadelphia Eagles up 17-3 throw the ball like 25 times the second half?
Because they were reading too many tweets about how they weren't doing
No,
it.
because AJ Brown said it's like, oh, we got to make AJ Brown happy. And
by the way, AJ Brown's not going anywhere. Like I don't know
nowhere.
why. First of all, the economics don't work. Like he doesn't have a contract that you could just trade to somebody. This isn't the NBA.
It's not. I was literally about to say it's not the NBA. It's not like you have 4 years on your contract like Kevin Durant.
You can't even do
say, I
that shit
need
in
a
the
trade.
NBA. You can't even do that shit in the NBA anymore. It's like second neighbor. Shut the fuck up. Yo, the diva wide receiver is back in the NFL. It's been far too long, but they're back. Like you're gonna tweet that shit and think, oh, now we're gonna throw you the ball 24 times. In a game you're up 17-3. Good God Almighty.
All right, Adam, what do you got?
All right, so I thought about this one. I just want to check. I'm gonna want. What is it? All right, I'm gonna want Ja'Cory Krosky. I'm gonna want Bill Merritt. Which I always am reminded that his name is completely related to Bill Cosby is how he got his nickname. I'm gonna want him for whatever his rushing yards over it. It's so funny. No one mentions that, but that's where he got his nickname. I'm gonna want his like alt yardage, like maybe a 70. I'm gonna want 70 rushing yards against the Bears, even off a bye. Like this Bears team. I just want to point out this Bears team. 94 to Gibbs, 76 to Javonte, 138 to Ashton Genty. That has a bad O-line too. Yeah, this is and he had a coming out party against those Chargers. So I'm gonna be on the Bill over alt rushing with the Commanders hosting against the is this a Sunday Night Football game or is it a
No, it's a doubleheader. Monday night doubleheader.
Monday night
yeah,
doubleheader.
I will be dude, the total in this game is 50.5. So I'm assuming that number is going to come out. I'm assuming it's going to be too low. It's going to probably be like 65.5 or something. But I'm going to want
65.
I want that 65? To the moon. Yeah, I think it'll be 65. He just had 117. But the total's 50. Like this isn't. People are going to be the total is implying that no one is going to tackle in this game at all. A 50.
I just feel like a wise man once told me take primetime unders. Now I know primetime overs have been hitting this year crazy, but none of these teams could defend. You know what? Let's let it ride. None of these teams are good defensively. Like
they're all terrible. These
over. That's what our parlay is. We're all. This is
pretty square.
We've been fading a lot of players on these parlays, so I like that we're backing some guys.
It's fun to have an over. It's CJ's job to write it down and make sure that we put it in as soon as it opens. All right, Sean, where can everybody find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at ShawnW_. Um, I'm on Instagram. Don't follow me because I'm not going to accept you. I don't use threads because whatever, and that's it. But yeah, listen, I'll be tweeting more because Knicks basketball is coming back. And this is like the 1 year. If the Knicks don't win the title, good lord, or you get to the finals, good lord, it's never gonna happen because they'll never have a better path than this. But that's where you can find me. I do stuff for Knicks Film School. I do a show I'm gonna start doing a show every Thursday or Friday with my man Jeff J called KFS After School. I do KFS Study Hall. Listen, if you want to talk about the Knicks, you can come holler at me. If you don't care about the Knicks, I won't hate you if you don't, because
Mute
most
me
of you
till
don't.
March. It's just like,
I get it. But listen, I literally watch Knicks basketball at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning because they're playing against Adam Rosenberg's Philadelphia 76ers.
in Abu Dhabi.
And I just crack jokes the entire time. Like this, like me and Berger, like freaking what do you told me, Berg? That oh yeah, Embiid getting off the bus looked like he
Oh,
wanted
it's
to take
him
a
getting,
nap.
and he's just like holding his back and walking in, and they're like shaking everything and doing this whole ceremony, and he just looks in pain, just constant pain, and just
I just want to say that Sixers to not make the playoffs last year at plus 950 is my magnum gambling opus. I will never ever have a better bet than that. I'm gonna say that right now.
Nola starting game 3, by the way.
Come on, Phillies. Fuck the Dodgers.
Oof.
Fuck them.
So
I mean, I guess that makes sense. They don't want to go lefty, lefty, lefty.
I never saw
there it
a
is.
Dodgers jersey in New York City until last season. Like never, ever. Like this is like no. Like my team, whatever. We have Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman running the team. We're fucked. Whatever. We may beat. Listen, we can win 3 straight. Whatever. I can't have this Dodgers shit. I can't have this Dodgers shit.
I don't know. I just a guy who I told CJ is his guy that is not his guy insisted that this wasn't happening, and I just had to be petty and reply to my comment from a week and a half ago where I said it was going to happen and said, "Oh, look at that. He's piggybacking in game 3." That person who moves markets, who CJ knows that I'm in a group chat with. So
Oh no.
he insisted that he was right, and I was turned out. It's okay for me to be wrong, but it's not okay for you to swear that you're right and I turn out to be right. That's not going to work. All right. So John Harbaugh, by the way, the Aaron Boone of Baltimore. CJ, wait, what?
He's
end it right there, Adam. That's the final word. That's John Harbaugh.
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Real Housekeeping, real quick. This was awesome because this got a lot of stuff off of everybody's chest here. Hall of Fame bets. Use code DADS. They're pushing hockey as of tonight, so push that in. I like Rangers overs, just so that everybody knows.
Are the Rangers going to win the cup this year?
It is our longest episode ever, but it's a good episode. I'm sorry.
Are the Rangers going to win the cup this year?
Possibly. I like the Rangers ceiling. I like them for 100 points at plus 185. So,
okay.
All right. So they're going to have that Hall of Fame bets, HOFapp.com. You can use our code. Please use our code. Also, we haven't talked about this in a while, but CJ, would you like to tell anyone about handigraphs that I've put you on the spot for?
We're working on hockey. That's all I can tell you right now. We've got hockey.
We had a screenshot. It was pretty cool. It's like a teaser image. It's great.
We will have dashboards at some point this season, but the old IT department has got to work through a few more things here to get this in place. But it's happening. We will have hockey on handigraphs and more to come once.
And in the meantime, if you're just like, I just want to try this out right now, we have HG playoffs as a code that you can use for the rest.
Stop being cheap.
Yes.
Pay for the shit.
Yep.
Not being cheap. Also pay for it, guys. It's literally
pay for it. You spent more and less. I live in New York.
I have.
I live in New York. It's $20 for a fucking cocktail. You spend more and less.
I was about to say, I was like, you could go out and have like 3 drinks, and it's going to cost you a season pass at handigraphs. So,
all right. With all that said, I'm Adam Rosenberg at Hey Rosenberg. CJ is at Dads at Bet. Our producer Spencer's at Spencer_Ray. And CJ, with all of that, what is the final word of our longest episode ever?
God, the Jets fucking suck.